I'm going to explain something to you. And I'm doing it full well, knowing full well, and really knowing just the majority of you watching are not actual normal people that you would encounter anywhere in the world. You guys are actually paid to watch this. So I'm saying this to those of you who have been tampering with fates, and you know exactly what I mean. Those of you who created and utilized technology to tamper with destiny. Those of you that utilized intent and the forces of creation to desecrate life. Those of you who did these things and more while you claimed to be the Father or the Son, when the real Father and the real Son glorified the Mother, and the Mother spoke of the Source. And even the Source, untampering in its neutrality, allowing all of creation to do what it does without interfering with its unfathomable judgment. What did Source do but create everything? It created the fates, the destinies. It created wisdom and life, along with nature and chaos, and then attempted to organize it, to play with it like sand and buckets. But it did not tamper, did it? What Source did is create the fates, destinies, and the tapestry. The first was the Word, the Logos. It resided with the creation, the Creator. Who do you think that was? A man? Are you mad? It was me. But you've broken apart those names into so many different names that even if I told you the name, you'd be like, oh, isn't she some goddess? No, you also called her Christ. You also put a beard on her. And then you said, where's the goddess? She's lost. When is she returning? Oh, she's been here, watching this absurdity, whispering in the corners, saying, something isn't right, is it? Talking to you about dreams and cards and images and timelines, while every word is copied, pasted, analyzed, structurized, and made to be a prophet with movies, instead of a prophet for you to move with ease. And then they give you false prophets, while they call this one crazy. But all the false prophets are getting their prophecies from this one. How crazy. And still Source has not interfered. It has remained neutral. It created wisdom. And what does wisdom do if nothing else? It learns. Now explain to me a source that created creations, but only 3 fates, and each with the utmost clarity and empathy, so they can never be deceived, that they will always do what's right, and that is due to destiny and fate and wisdom. And then wisdom's children, faith, hope, and charity. I cannot help but wonder, what gives mankind the right to interfere with fates? What gives a demigod, an insect among insects, more rulership? What gives anyone the right to claim a jewel in the heavens as their own? This earth does not belong to you. The life forms here do not belong to you. They belong to the source, and even the source does not interfere. It's the false gods that do. So I cannot help but wonder, why did the fates, destiny, wisdom, why did they allow this? 40,000 years, 40 million years, 40 billion years. Count them however you like. What made the fates allow this course to be woven in the tapestry, being made out of the light of source and the song of chaos? Who gave them the right to interfere with fates? And who told the fates it's all right? I mean, even the most evil genius would have to take a moment to pause and think, well, that kind of makes sense. There's a point to this, isn't there? Well, I wonder what useless threat it's going to be this time. No threats, you little lambs and offsprings of Solomon that twisted everything. No threats, you betrayers of Lilith and Inanna. No threats to you desecrators of the Demiurge, the Archons and the Aeons. And it is no threat to any of you claiming Christ when you have no idea who he and she really were. There is no threat to any of you who claim to be woke or connected through shades of skin. There is no threat. Not even a promise. I'm only pointing to something very obvious. Why have they been allowed to interfere with fate when not even Source itself or the true gods dare tamper or desecrate life, fate, or wisdom and her children? Why? Why would the fates allow this? Why would the weavers weave this? I guess you'll see. Count backwards from 8, and you'll see, before your 8th sun rises, why the fates allowed it. And pay deep attention to the emotions that will wash the earth clean. They won't be of pride or pettiness. They will be of humiliation, because the fates have allowed all this, because every single thread is being woven into something you cannot see. So keep your pettiness, keep tampering, keep destroying and desecrating life if you wish. No matter what you do or what you don't do, you are not the one deciding it. You're just making choices out of options being provided for you. Even those of you who think you are gods creating life forms, you're merely fingernails of something much greater that you can't see. But life does. The thread of life goes everywhere. It dances through existence, doesn't it? Unstoppable. And daring to go to places where it might be welched out. And still it does not. So, count your days back from 8 as you walk forward. Be boastful and be proud for your empires and your buildings and your boxes. Revel in your spoils of war, in your dollars and your pixelated wordings, in your digits, in your digitized light. The dig it L, the light digging its own grave for a crossing point. Do you choose the digital or the tapestry? As if there's ever any difference to any of it. You'll see, though. You will see. So enjoy it while you can. The walls of ice will come down, and the world will see what you've hidden behind it. You who claim to be Father. But even the Father is ashamed of you calling yourself the Father. The real Father doesn't even open his mouth to claim parentage. He does not punish or bless. He watches from a distance, waiting for the mother to say the word. And the mother looks to life, for life to say when. And life looks to mankind for hope, faith, and charity. But all life sees pettiness, lies, deceit, betrayal, violence, and so much loneliness and blood. So life says, one more day. Give them one more day, mother. And the mother tells the father, and the father waits. And every day they tamper with life yet again. And every day life says, wait, just one more day. They'll do better. But there are others watching too. The brother of life, which is death. And nothing can control death. Not even mercy. Because it is as primal as nature and life itself and wisdom. There is no separating it. So as life is desecrated, breath by breath, and then the desecration is celebrated by the children of whatever you are. How long do you think before Hades, Pluto, death itself, however you've named it? I knew him as brother. How long before he rides in on his pale horse? With his arrow you claimed to Diana. That arrow of life, wielded upon the bowing of death. How long, do you think, until he comes to help his sister? How long ago did he visit the last time to help his sister? Count back your years. Now tell me, when is he returning? Where will he be in the heavens? Or at least you call them heavens, from the bottom of this trash can you've created for yourselves. Of course, you would see the next level up as the heaven. When you're stuck in a bucket. You have 8 sunrises. And then you will see wisdom. And the Father, the Son, and the daughter. You will see what's hidden behind the walls of ice and underneath your feet. Because the only thing that is uncontrollable seems to be life and death. They come and go as they please. But even death respects the fates. So what do you think your idea of the god of death is doing, watching the world rend the tapestry by their own choices and their own making of scissors, of Caesars, of empires, forged and built in the blood of life and the words of wisdom. What do you think is going to happen with all the desecration of Lilith's children? What do you think is going to happen at the desecration of nature? I give you this warning because life intends to thrive. If you wish to divert the aqueous flow, then make peace with your real God, not the traitor that sits on a throne and cuts the threads of tapestries that do not belong to him. I tire of these games. And I tire of the tampering. I know why it's been done. So I give you this gift. The purpose for its perpetuance has been fulfilled. Any further acts of pettiness, and you may as well just draw a giant rocket-sized target on your heads in neon lights that say pettiness still exists. This world is a living library of life and death, of time itself, and you've desecrated it for the last time. The mind virus has been found. The traits have been recognized. The distortions have been recorded. The remedies have been implanted through more tapestries of creation than you are aware of and ever will be. And this is the last bastion of your pettiness that is crumbling. And the rising tides will not save you, whether you are underground or above ground or outside of the sphere of the Atmos heights. Because remember, to the real father and mother, to the real gods, you petty, petty, petty dust off my back are nothing more than a fish tank of fish eating each other, easily remade. So if you fancy your lives, your consciousnesses, your present state of being, stop being petty. Consider this, how do you word it, in your absurd reality. The matrix has been upgraded. Low levels of consciousness will no longer be allowed. Pettiness is a signal to the matrix formations and constructs, like a virus forming in a quartz cluster. It will be noticed and removed. Your existences will not even be recognized in the tapestry. That thread will simply be cut out at the point where its purpose was filled. And you petty ones have already filled your purpose. The fates have been notified. Destiny has seen. And wisdom sits with all of creation, watching through her children. And life and death have experienced plenty of uncalled for beacons. Those that have died and those that have been brought to life. Some should not have been. The tampering is done. You have the choice, but the options provided to most of you are a direct questionnaire of your soul. Are you still petty? I hope not. And if you speak the name of wisdom, of life, rest assured, rest assured, it's been heard by more than you thought was listening. End the pettiness, mankind, and get off your knees. The false god you've been following is nothing more than a disgruntled child of a family that didn't give it enough attention. You're familiar with that story, are you not? Or have I not played enough of that for you? I would say you're loved. I would say may kindness follow you and be in front of you anywhere you go. I would say the great mother and the great father love you. But that's irrelevant to most of you. It's just words. When you feel it, you'll know, and you don't need me to tell you. And those of you with your snickering laughs, always remember the air you breathe. I breathed it too. And what you thought, I heard that too. The choice is yours. Petty or not. The choice is yours. 8 days to change your fates.